Hello everyone, welcome to another video. This time we're going to be looking at the new Victoria Gaumont Odeon Cinema, which was located in Preston. Before I start the video, I'd like to encourage you to give the video a like and a share, and also please consider subscribing to my channel should you like the content. A cinema in the process of construction on this site on Church Street, Preston, was nearing completion when Provincial Cinematograph Theatres, get that one out, purchased the unfinished project. The cinema was to have been named the Coliseum, however PCT had other ideas. They engaged the services of architect W.E. Trent to create a huge building that swallowed up the original cinema design. In fact, the space allocated for the Coliseum's 900-seat auditorium became the Crush Hall area. The new high-spec auditorium with stage facilities was built onto the existing structure. The splendid, ornate plasterwork was carried out by John Gaberdi, a firm that was based in Preston. The stalls area seated 1,450 patrons, while the balcony area accommodated a further 670, giving a total capacity of 2,120. A cafe was integral to the building. The new Victoria Theatre was equipped with a Wurlitzer 2-manual 9-rank organ with a console that was installed centrally on a lift. Under PCT management, the sumptuous Super Cinema opened its doors on Monday the 17th of September 1928 and named the new Victoria Theatre. Renowned organist Leslie J. Rogers played the Wurlitzer organ at the gala opening. An orchestra played music to accompany the moving silent images. Within 6 months, Provincial Cinematograph Theatres were taken over by Gaumont British Theatres, easier to pronounce, in February 1929, who became the owners of the new Victoria Theatre. However, the cinema was not renamed Gaumont until 1952. Major alterations took place during 1962 when the building was subdivided with a modern cinema that seated 1,229 seats in the upper level and the top-ranked suite/ballroom that boasted a fully sprung maple floor at the ground level. As it quickly adapted to sound, business was good, thanks to the first run of films provided by Gaumont British Management. Throughout the heyday of cinema, the new Victoria constantly enjoyed capacity houses. However, like most large cinemas, it began to struggle in the 1950s as audience numbers dwindled. Rank had added the now Gaumont into its portfolio of cinemas. The company decided that the building was to be drastically altered in order for it to survive. Ambitious plans were drawn up in 1962 and the cinema closed. Construction work started immediately to transform the building by removing a balcony, then extending a solid floor across in its place to form one level. This space was to provide a new modern cinema in the upper level. The original stalls area would be remodelled into a top-ranked ballroom suite, complete with a fully sprung maple wood floor. The grand reopening took place on the 28th of January 1963. The 1,229-seat cinema was now an Odeon, showing its first film On the Beat, starring Norman Wisdom. British film star Leslie Phillips and comedian Stanley Baxter were there in person. The mixture of cinema and ballroom seemed to be a winning combination during the 1960s. A second 105-seat cinema was added into the space that was once the cafe. A trend with both large cinema circuits was to put extra screens into their picture palaces in an attempt to encourage more people through the doors. However, once the multiplex operators started to open purpose-built multi-screen units in the 1980s, the competition became intense. The Preston Odeon on Church Street was no exception to this challenge. The cinema closed on the 12th of September 1992, with the upper cinema of the building remaining boarded up. However, the dance hall was converted into a nightclub known as Clouds. It was later given a £5,000 makeover and renamed Lava Ignites. Now, the last word there is quite ironic. The building lay derelict and, due to poor security, was left to the mercy of vandals. Eventually, in May 2022, arsonists made 2 attempts in 1 week to burn the building down. The fires consumed the interior and roof. The rear of the properties were quickly demolished for safety reasons after the fire. However, the Art Deco frontage and foyer block were saved from destruction following a local campaign. County Hall recommended that the terracotta cinema facade should be retained either for incorporation into a replacement building or a careful dismantling or reconstruction, as it is a significant feature which reflected the 1920s era in which the cinema was built. So there you go, folks. There is the end of the video. If you remember going into Clouds, Lava Ignite, or the old cinema itself, please do share your memories in the comments. Also, if any of the Preston groups have been nice enough to let me share this video, please do interact on their sites as well, as a way of supporting the group for helping me share the work and promote, obviously, my channel. So, folks, I hope you've enjoyed it. Take care of yourselves, and goodbye for now.